All right, we're live.
Oh,
Hey, Victor, how are you doing?
fine. How are you?
I'm great. We're gonna do a little bit more Helm today. I think
Yeah,
we met like 2 or 3 weeks ago and we started doing Helm.
yep.
Yep. So let's see here. I'm sharing my screen right now.
Yeah, first I
And
will explain the goals for today
yeah, do
and
it.
maybe a bit review about what we did the last on the last streaming about Helm.
Yeah, that
No?
sounds good. Yeah, so on the last stream we deployed a website on Minikube locally so that you can access it. And we did that by creating a Helm chart. So you could just deploy that website in one command afterwards, right? Um, and I want to take that further by using our whole backend as an example and deploying the entire thing, right?
Yeah, or Armor backend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So in the Armor backend, we have things like RabbitMQ, message queue,
yeah.
Postgres. We have
Redis.
yep, Redis. We have multiple servers that we're running,
Yeah,
and
like
there's a
like
lot of
like 3 or 4 servers built in Rust and Node.js, right?
yep, exactly. So we need, and a lot of those servers they share the same configuration in Kubernetes. So Helm is a wonderful tool for us because it saves a lot of boilerplate and like you just write it once in here and then you can reuse some functions. Like they have a way to define functions so you can deduplicate a lot of your Kubernetes configuration, and it's just a really powerful tool. So
Yeah. Okay.
if you're new to Helm, I would recommend going back and watching the video I just posted a few days ago. It's basically covering like deploying the website, but it's sped up a little bit more than the live stream, and it's a little more streamlined. So if you're brand new to Helm and Kubernetes, please check that out first. But we're gonna dive right in here. So unless you have any questions, Victor.
No, go ahead.
All right. So last week with the deployment, we basically just I'm saying last week, but last time we live streamed with the deployment, we basically just copy pasted what we're currently using, and we didn't use much of this
Mhm.
Helm syntax for templating out YAML files. So I went through and I updated a lot of it already, but don't worry, we'll still do some here live. Um, so just to give a brief overview, this is how you define a variable with Helm:
Okay, it's
a
like
dollar
PHP.
sign and then uh,
Yeah, it's the same
colon equal.
syntax.
Yep.
So
And
yeah.
then this dash here,
Uh-huh.
it ensures that there's no white space left behind by doing this. Because normally, like for if you don't put the dash here, you'll have a bunch of white space in your output for your YAML.
Oh, okay.
So that
Okay.
just cleans it up. And then down here, what we're doing is this is actually a loop. So you can write loops inside of this YAML templating thing. And I think I think the name of it is Sprig. I think that's the engine. It's using like Golang templating.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah. And
so this is
just
looping over value in the values file. We have a list called
uh-huh.
deployment. So let me just go over there. And so the every Helm chart has a values file, and the values file, it just has whatever you want. Basically, you can put anything in here. It just has to be valid YAML syntax.
Okay.
So it's like whatever you need to configure your system goes in here. And yeah, ideally you would want to put things in here that people would want to change at runtime, possibly, you
Okay.
know, because lot of this stuff, I mean, anything in this file can be changed at like install time. So when you install this chart, anything in here can be changed with what you want. So I went through and I made the deployments because we have like 8 deployments, I'd say. So it just makes sense for me to do this, I think, and configure it all out right in here. I gave it a name, and then it has dependencies. So these dependencies kind of decide whether or not which environment variables to give the deployment, because environment variables a lot of times they're using like passwords or something. So I didn't want to just give every single deployment the same environment variables. That wouldn't be good like security practice. So let me go back to deployments. Yeah, so let me show that. Here where you configure the environment variables inside of the container.
Okay.
I say like, oh, if.cloud storage. So that's looking at, hold on, let me back up 1 second. So there's this with keyword right here.
Dependencies.
This checks to see if dependencies exists inside of this current context. So the dot is saying use this current context and then dependencies. So say we're looping through a deployment and then we look for dependencies. And so now we see it exists. So it'll enter this and it'll look at cloud storage. And if cloud storage exists, then we put the cloud storage variable into this YAML file.
Okay.
And okay, I guess that is a pretty good bridge over to, like what is this cloud storage variable?
It's up there.
Up here, it gets defined. So the reason I put a huge blob of variables up here is because when you're in a loop, your context changes. So you can't actually call a function because it won't work because the context is all messed up. So you'd have to save it ahead of time in a variable and then run your loop. And then you can call anything that's saved.
And I have a question here. What does variables contains? I mean, you're for example, writing cloud SQL equals dot values dot cloud SQL, or yeah, could we go there and see the value for?
Yep. Yeah. So, Cloud SQL, it's just in the values file and it's empty. It's just an object.
Okay.
And I'll explain what this is for in a bit once we get to that point. But then there's also these includes.
Include, yeah.
This is how you call a function.
Okay.
So functions that you have to define yourself inside of your underscore helpers.tpl file. So if I hop over to that file, we're looking at our more.cloud storage function. So scroll down and where's it at? Let me search for this. There it is. So cloud storage. So this is how you define a function inside of this templating language. I'm not exactly sure the name of it. I should look that up, but it's pretty simple and like easy to use. I don't even have to look up the documentation that much after using it for like 2 days. So, if you dive into this, it's pretty quick. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure this is just a comment.
Comment. Yeah, it seems to be.
Yeah, so that's not required, but
so
it's nice
you're there defining the name of the function.
Yep.
And then between the define and the end, it's your function. This is
what it returns.
Oh, this is a return value. This is a list of values.
Yeah, and honestly, I haven't gotten into, I don't know if you can pass in parameters to these functions or anything like that. I need to check that out because that could be useful. I've ran into a few scenarios where I've kind of wanted to do that, but
Okay.
I didn't take I decided to work around the problem instead of like learning if that's possible. But
Okay.
um yeah, and then so that's what this dot stands for.
Mhm.
After you do include is like call this function, and then dot is like place the return value here.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, it makes sense.
So that's why I saved all those up there in a big blob. Um, now, yeah, and so let me just run through this super quickly.
Yeah.
We just give it a name here, the metadata, it gets labels. That's just calling another include function. Selector labels, that's another include function. Dot name. So now we're in the context of the current deployment. So that'd be like auth server for the first one. And then same here, we're in the context of the deployment. So those are annotations.
Yeah. So
Pod.
just to clarify,
Yep.
uh, yeah, this loop is looping over the deployments list, and then on each yeah, on each step of the loop, it will go through different element of this list, and then this context that we're talking about is just this particular element of the list, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, so we're looping through, a list of objects. And then we configure it. The containers, I mean, we don't need to get into the specifics of this because it's just our own implementation.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess let me explain the Cloud SQL. So we're saying with Cloud SQL. So if it exists, let's enter this context and to YAML.containers. So I made it so this containers blob here, this is valid Kubernetes YAML. So you can just, plop it in there and it works. And then same with this volumes. That's what the other thing we were adding inside of deployment.
But
Here.
these are commented, right? How do you get that if it's right there as a comment?
That's why I put this with here because I'm trying to cover a scenario where maybe we don't want to use Google's infrastructure. Maybe we want to host our backend on Minikube or in AWS or something. So we would have like a more generic configuration in here so it can be supported anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to the database, it's like it'll probably stay in one place because migrating databases is a pain. But I don't know. Who knows what will happen in the future. So I guess we could just, well, I guess I only covered the deployment. Let me go and cover the service. That would be useful as well. So service is the same thing. Every one of our deployments typically has a service if it needs to be exposed. So I decided to just make a single generic service.yaml file, basically the same way I did the deployments. I'm looping over a services list inside the values file, and it just generates a simple template. And then inside of values, the input is something like a type with node port
Okay.
and
All
ports and
the
yeah.
all the information about how do you want to expose this particular service, like the port, yeah, the protocol. Okay, okay.
Exactly.
So so these YAMLs, like deployment.yaml and service.yaml, this Helm syntax, I'm as I understand that just helps you to automatically generate YAML files.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. So you can automatically generate YAML, and then one problem I haven't solved yet that we could do together here, Victor, is creating like a generic secrets file. So
Okay.
this is like I was learning Helm still, and I did this all janky. I like it's like I don't know, it's like hard coded values in here. You don't really want to see that very
Yeah.
much in these files. So my my method here is I created a secrets um,
Yeah.
directory here, and it has different secrets
Yeah.
basically.
Like
So
your private environment variables or private data.
exactly, and then we can like ignore this file so it doesn't get checked into GitHub or whatever, or ignore this directory. I mean, and then the secrets they'll automatically get generated here, and hopefully we can just build like one by running through a loop of those files. And so they have a way of working with the file system, and I figured that out here. This is
Okay.
like a function where I'm looping through files and then I'm getting each line from that. So maybe we can up here we can do like
This is awesome, dude. I mean, this templating language lets you do a lot of cool stuff that you would do with a scripting language like Python, maybe.
yeah, exactly. So and it's just right in the YAML.
Yeah.
Super cool. So we get this. You have to put an end at the end. So looping through each file here, and now
And then now you can loop
this will be
over
the
each,
same.
yeah, over each line of this file.
Yep. And then the name. So now I need to figure out how to get
The current name,
current
file
file
name.
name, right? And then
Mhm.
chop off .toml from it and like put it here.
Well, we could go through some documentation quickly, and if we see that it's taking a lot of time, just skip it.
That sounds
Uh,
good. All right, I'll pull this up.
Maybe just a quick search on Google.
Yeah, so we're looking to work with files. Helm.files. They have a little bit of docs on this.
Yeah, I'll search too.
So let's see, basic example. So you can't access files in the templates directory with the .files function because of security concerns. And then files in Helm ignore cannot be accessed.
Okay. Uh, I think I got it. I'll send you the link. Well, maybe you are on the same page. Yeah, just right there. Yeah, you are right there. See that it says then we print each file name by doing that.
Right here.
Well, I was reading below. Yeah, then we print each file name followed by contents of the file. I'm not sure if
I
it would
see. I
help.
see. Then we print each file name followed by the contents of the file, files.get. Okay, so
Yeah,
this is the
so
file name right here. Yeah,
what they do, it's putting the dot files on a variable and then just doing files.get
yeah.
dot
So I can do files.lines, I think, and it could just, I can reuse this implementation I have here.
okay.
So,
Yeah, we create a variable to hold a reference to the file's object. Okay.
secret. So in here, we're gonna change this. We're gonna do a print f to do a formatted string. And I need to save this in a variable because we're inside a loop now. So
Yeah, it seems that there's a lot of helper functions like to get the current path, for example. Yeah, pretty cool.
awesome. We'll be able to figure this out. And I need to figure out how to split a string, which, like, I'll go to Sprig functions. I have this up already. They have regex split.
You can also do regex there.
Yeah. I thought they had a normal split. Let's see. Okay.
No, you
So
can
we'll go to the
treat.
regex split.
Yeah.
So I want to do this.
How you can check later the output value of these files.
You can, I'll show you that after we do this because it's going to be useful for debugging. But
Okay.
there's a command that they have to that will it won't actually apply it to a Kubernetes cluster. It just generates the files. You don't actually have to have a Kubernetes cluster running to like develop this stuff.
Very cool.
So secret name. So we're gonna split. I'm looking at this. So the above produces, okay, so it's doing Z plus. So prints
Yeah, it will split.
+1.
Yeah.
So it could,
So what you want to do is, well, you want to split by a dot.
yeah, and return the first match. So maybe I can, okay, the last parameter n determines the number of substrings to return. Yeah, so I can just say 1 then. So regex split dot.
Instead of dot, slash, yeah.
On dot, and then return 1.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this might be a list. So I think it's a list. So I feel good about that. Let's just call the first position on it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the name. Now the type, we'll just make it opaque. It's pretty generic. It's like a key value store secret, basically. And now we need to do our loop for putting these key values into the secret. So this will be dot. And then I think, yeah, everything else is the same. Oh, that's pretty cool. Let's see if this works. That's way too small. Hold on.
Yeah, perfect.
Think that's big enough?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see, somewhere in my history, I got this Helm template, Helm template something like dry run debug, I think.
It's with controller.
Yep. There. So, and then I just put the output to a file so we can look at it in VS Code.
Okay, so armor chart.
That's just a directory.
Okay.
Just pointing to a directory. Okay.
Oh,
We got in
byte
there
syntax and secrets.yaml.
on file online.
Maybe you have to the dot, you know,
This,
this dot. Do you need that? I think it's not on the example. I'm not sure.
so it calls a string
Oh
on
yeah,
the example,
sure.
and so I was trying to call like the file name.
Yeah, maybe dot files dot get. Not sure if that's the one.
See if it output. Sometimes it will output anyway. The generated stuff. Oh no, it didn't even.
Not this time.
Let's see. I removed the and like one there, and I added a slash here to show that it's like, get these. Maybe
Okay,
that'll change it. Let's see.
let's try it.
No, it's still mad.
Same error.
So
Yeah. Hmm.
it doesn't give the best error. It's just like invalid syntax. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, maybe there's a different way to split strings here. Must regex split. What's this? If there's a problem and I mean, let's try it.
Oh, okay. So,
All right, I'm just guessing now. So I'm not sure what's going on here.
okay. So with range files, you loop over the file names, and yeah, that should be file name.
Let's just do this.
Mhm.
See what it generates. And our a.txt file. Nada. I'm a bit lost. Okay.
Yeah. Where about?
I have a feeling it's not getting any files. That's my
Where about this syntax that I wrote? I sent it through the chat, through the Zoom chat.
okay, let me see it.
Yeah, I see that. So you write the point and then this bar dash. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure what they're doing here is dumping the contents as a string and using the file name as the key. So that dot is just, it should just be the file name.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to split on it. to remove the .toml, which I guess we could just not have .toml on the files, but
maybe you could try without splitting at first. Then if it works, I mean, yeah, there will be the .toml, but just to check if the dot it's the actual file name.
yeah. So line 3, dude, I commented out. What do you mean? All right, now that makes me think there's something else wrong. All right,
or template
files can evaluate field of files and type uint8
files.lines, executing secrets.yaml files.lines can evaluate field files. Yeah.
Okay.
No. What does it mean?
Still complaining about the dot. It's like, I don't think it's actually getting any files. So, I don't know. Let's see. Go back to Helm docs real quick. Too big. Okay, I think we need a glob pattern. Yep, that's it. Yeah, here we go. Yep.
Glob
File,
pattern.
yep.
Okay.
.files.glob.
And you have to write like, okay, anything dot .toml. Or what about just this stars.toml?
We could do that, but I want to get specifically the secrets, just in case. I don't know. There probably wouldn't be other toml files in here, but just in case.
Okay.
So now this is doing range, and it looks like there's two. It's assigning it.
Yeah, files.globber is returning two values. But
okay, files that get path. Yep. Files that lines dot. So let's get dot.
So it's putting the path on
I need to do this. I wonder what the second I wonder what the second thing is here.
I can look for it.
Yeah, that would help.
Okay.
Path, and then this is going to be path. I'll do the secret name. Projects. Let.
Okay.
And I'm also going to split on slash. And we'll get. That's kind of sketchy, but whatever.
It's complaining about the same line. Yeah.
All right, screw it. I'll just put the whole path for this tutorial. I'll figure this out later and whatever.
Oh, the same error. Uh, well, if we can't figure out right now, just to make the streaming more dynamic, we could skip this part and trying to do
Yeah,
it later or maybe on another video.
true. All right. Me, yeah, that'll be another one. Now I need to make one for each of these real quick.
Okay. Yeah, okay, you're her coding for each YAML file. Okay.
No problem. We can fix it later.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and then I already have Rabbit in here. Send grid. Send grid. Twilio. Twilio. Don't need any of that. All right. So those are our secrets.
Mhm.
And now I can show you how this template thing works. So Helm template, the directory, debug, and debug just outputs whatever it applies. And you can use that command in other, you can use this flag in other Helm commands.
Yep.
So now I'll open a.text. These are the files it generated.
Okay, with all the secrets and yeah.
There's a config file. There's our service. And you'll see it puts release name in all caps because normally this would be replaced by what you name this release when you install it.
Yeah, so because you specified that the debug flag it's not writing the release name. It's for that.
Yeah, it's just outputting like what it would apply. And we didn't actually give it a name. Like with the template command on the CLI, you can't name a release. So it just replaces release name with all caps release name. And then, yeah, so there's all of our services.
Yeah, so it gets like each YAML file on that directory that you specified and generates this huge text generated by each YAML file.
Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, so it's like 650
Yeah.
lines long, the template. So, and we have all of this pretty much written already in YAML files that we hand, edit. But obviously there's like I have some struggles with it. I don't know. I can't figure out that secret thing. It's kind of pissing me off, but whatever.
Yeah, don't
I'll
worry.
figure
We'll
that out.
later.
Now I guess we could deploy it to Minikube
Okay.
and continue to like expand the services. There's a few I left out that we can add in really quickly by editing the values file. But first, let's just like get it running real quick, what we have. So I'm gonna run Helm upgrade and install if it doesn't exist, name it armor, and call from the directory armor chart.
Okay.
And so it deployed it.
Happy helming.
Now I have this like Kubernetes IDE.
Mm-hmm.
Go into here. And yeah, you can see that under deployments, we have our more off server. We have all of our deployments. We
Everything.
have under network services, we have all of our services here.
Okay. And just running the upgrade install, everything it's done automatically.
Yeah, everything gets applied, any changes. And
Okay.
if there's no changes, nothing will really be done behind the scenes. But if there's changes, then Kubernetes will like use its whole event driven system to like say, hey, I found a new configuration for this particular pod. So destroy the current one and start a new one, basically.
So it went that fast just because it just reuse the old configuration and just apply the new changes. Like it has like a cache.
So no, it went that fast because all it's doing is applying the YAML files. It doesn't actually check if it succeeded or wait until everything deploys and everything gets downloaded. It just says, it just throws all these YAML files at a Kubernetes cluster and says, try to create this application.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you could install a Helm chart and you could go into your Kubernetes cluster and like everything's broken. Nothing works because it just all depends on if it's written correctly.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, so the pods are here. This one is having trouble for some reason. I don't know. Sometimes when you just delete them, it works. It might be because it doesn't have access to the like image or something. I'm not sure. Maybe my computer's not powerful enough, but anyway, let's add another deployment and see if maybe that is the problem. If that is the problem, we won't get very far, but so I've added almost all of the node servers. Let's add the WebSocket gateway. That's one other one we have.
Okay.
So I'm just copying from the notification server and we'll call this WebSocket gateway. It has access to cloud storage, RabbitMQ, Postgres. Push notifications is false. SendGrid Slack. No.
Okay.
Twilio.
Twilio false too. Okay.
Yep. So just those three. And then entry port, yep, yarn start. Service name is WebSocket gateway. And I don't know what port it uses. I have to go look real quick. 9080. Okay. And then we need to make a service for it. WebSocket gateway 80. Then we need to add a host.
Yeah, so you say that the deployments were complaining because the WebSocket gateway is left.
What was that? Sorry.
I mean, you say that the deployments were like complaining because we left the WebSocket gateway to deploy.
It might be because something's not configured correctly, like it doesn't have the correct Twilio things, so the container just keeps crashing. I don't know. I didn't actually look at the logs. You'd have to look at the logs and then determine from there. But let's deploy this one. Yep. So go back over. Now we should see WebSocket gateway.
Yeah, right there.
Yep, and it's already running. So that's pretty quick. And
Yeah,
that's because the image already exists here because it's using the same image as the other thing. So it didn't have to download anything. It just started right up. But if we look at the logs, it's complaining a lot because it
always
can't,
error. So not found.
it's
Get
having trouble connecting to
RabbitMQ.
RabbitMQ. Yep. So I'm pretty sure what I did is I changed the name of the RabbitMQ. Yeah, I put a dash here.
Uh-huh.
So that's the problem.
Uh,
And let's see. Oh,
so yeah,
that's in our helpers. Let's
yeah, and
see.
look, up there you had like RabbitMQ without the dash and with M and Q on upper. Uh, so
Oh yeah. Okay. Good call. There we go.
okay. Well, I will go always with the same format. I mean, or a dash or the M and Q on upper. What do
Oh,
you
so
think?
the upper is, let me see. Where did you see that? Was that in values?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's no, I'm not sure.
Right here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Dang it. You're right. I mean, so I was using a mix in here because they use a mix, but for now, since that's just a value, like whatever, let's just let it ride.
Okay.
We'll fix it later. All right, so now let's see if our new WebSocket gateway can connect.
Fail to load logs.
Yeah, it doesn't exist yet.
Okay.
Like, yeah, so you can see like this development, this lens tool is super cool, but you can come down here and you can see all the events that have happened inside of this. So, successfully assigned this to Minikube, the pod. That's pulling the image. Oh, it's missing a secret. So that's a problem. I need to rename that as well to match with our like dash naming scheme. That's probably why it's crashing. Let's go back and do that. So the secrets directory, RabbitMQ, this one I'm going to just rename as Rabbit-MQ. And then we'll have to go in here.
Okay.
Guess I didn't really need to rename the file, but let's make it all consistent.
Yeah. Region 8. Yeah. Yeah, it's deployed.
Where's the new one? Oh, there it is. Nice.
Here. Yeah, and what about
Hey, yep. Now it's complaining about Postgres, which is expected because there's no Postgres here at all.
okay.
Yep. So we're
Yeah.
back connected to RabbitMQ. Everything's good. Why is the notification server complaining? Let's see. Twilio.
Twilio. Okay. Have you deployed Twilio?
That's an old event. Twilio. I created a file for the secret. Yeah, and I just put some like boilerplate stuff in there.
Okay.
Let's go. Sorry, I'm hopping all over the place, but
Don't worry.
I think it's probably because it's using the wrong name.
Error
It's gonna
secret.
have our more dash Twilio instead of just Twilio. So let's go to, I think it's in the helpers file again. Twilio. Oops. Twilio. Yep, here we go. This, yeah. Yep, that's the bug.
Okay.
See, so that's an example of how you can get runtime bugs in this. You can get them really easily. And
Yeah.
like having this tool, highly recommended, because you can just hop in here and then click and look at the logs,
So
memorize everything.
this tool, it's called Lens, and you use it to like emulate deployments on your local machine.
No, you use it to manage Kubernetes clusters. So this is our prod cluster right here.
Okay, so yeah, so you connect it with our Google Cloud cluster. So
Yep. It just plugs into your like local Kubernetes configuration, and it figures out any clusters that you have access to. And then it like does like a bunch of API requests and gets all this info.
okay. Oh yeah, okay. So really you can like work with your real production clusters, and you can do work with just deployments on your local machine to test.
Yep, exactly. So you can host any cluster in here, and you could do it from, you could have clusters in here from Amazon, Google, DigitalOcean, Microsoft Azure, any of them. So it's just
Awesome.
really good for debugging and like giving you more insight into what's going wrong with everything.
Yeah, and you don't really need to go to the specific cloud tool. Like you don't have to enter to googlecloud.com.
Exactly. And you can get like instantly, you can get all this information about a particular pod, you know, how much memory and CPU is it using. So that's for our authentication server. That's like something I wanted to just point out just because I think it's freaking awesome. Look at how much memory Node uses compared to Rust. This is your server you created. Usage for
So
memory is a flat line to like
so
less than 15 megabytes at all time. But then you look at Node,
wow. Whoa, this is huge.
and this
So
server isn't even doing anything. This is like an old server that we just keep around to support legacy users. It's not even being hit anymore, really.
it's using almost 100 megabytes of memory. This is memory, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And sorry, what the request one means?
That's like what it gives it to start. Like, um, it's guaranteed that much.
Okay.
And the limit is like where it caps it. It's like you can't go any higher than that.
So it's using more than so it so
It's
this
almost to the limit here.
yeah.
And so like it just goes, it'll save you money to build things in Rust because every time you have a tool that uses this much memory, it just makes it so you have to add more nodes to your cluster, and your cluster just starts to get big. And then for every node you have to pay like $30 extra per month.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, depending on the computer, some of the computers are really expensive.
This is awesome, dude. This is like another super useful reason to convince someone to use Rust instead of other tools.
Yep, I know, dude. So, all right. So tangent aside, let's deploy the Rust servers in here. So for that, we go back to values.
There's no more complaining out there.
There was I was considering in this live stream deploying Postgres, But I don't know if like we're already at an hour, so we'll have to see.
Okay.
Yeah, so the complaining is, this is complaining that,
This is a node error.
yeah,
Yeah,
so this is because the secret
Twilio.
that I used for Twilio, it's
Yeah,
in a bad format. They don't like it, and
yeah,
yeah,
it's like a mock secret that does not exist at all.
yeah. So um let's see. Maybe I can just put AC at the front because it does say it has to begin with AC. So let's just try it.
Okay.
And maybe that one will be all good. I want the only problem right now to be Postgres because that's an easy thing to fix. Just needs to be deployed.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So hello, what are you doing, cluster? Here, let's figure out how to restart. I'll just delete the pod. That's my favorite way to do it. I just
The
delete it.
easy one.
Kubernetes, it'll just create a new one instantly. There it is.
Mhm.
Okay. Yep. Now it's just mad about Postgres. So we're good to
Okay.
go there. Um, now we need to deploy, we need to add to our values all of our Rust servers. So we have 3 different Rust servers that will get
Yeah.
added in here. I can start with this. Be close enough.
Mhm. So, sorry, um, uh, what's the point right now? What do you want to accomplish?
I'm gonna, okay, yeah, that's a good point. I wanted to finish getting all of our deployments in here, but I guess it would be more valuable for the viewers to deploy a Postgres database probably,
Yeah.
because this is just going to be more of the same stuff. So do you think we should switch gears and do that instead?
No, the invitations one, sure, it's fast. I mean, you just have to rewrite this little it item, right?
Yeah, yeah, so
So
it'll
yeah,
be pretty quick. I don't need a command because it's built in. Leave
uh-huh.
this. Let me just go over to invitations. So server Rust and get the tag. Okay, and then it doesn't have a service name. We can just delete environment altogether. The port is not that. It's 80,001. All right, that's it for that. And then we have to
Mhm.
add it down here.
Yeah, specify the port, invitations. V1. Yeah. Uh,
Okay.
what about the type node port? Just for curiosity.
So this is like inside of service, there's different types of services. You can have a node port or a cluster IP.
Okay.
And so I'm pretty sure a cluster IP is like a load balancer. And so you can point it to, you can have a cluster IP that has multiple pods attached to it.
Mhm. Okay.
And then, it's using like load balancing. If you want to scale your system, it's probably a good idea. I'm
Okay.
sure we'll get into that soon. So watch out for a video.
Yeah, so now let's figure out how to deploy the Postgres one.
Okay. Wait, one thing I have to add for invitations to be finished.
Oh yeah, okay, the ingress.
Invitations. V1. It's like API dot v1/invitations. Okay, and then this is 8001. Beautiful. All right. Now, if we didn't make any bugs, this should work. Oh, it's upset about me putting a dash.
The ingress are more ingress with kind.
I see. So instead of putting, where am I at? Side of here. Instead of putting this, put that here.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect.
So now we should see invitations. Crash, loop back off. And if we scroll down to the events, looks like it just got the image. Yeah. Looks like it'll get created here in a second. Give it a second.
Okay.
Yeah. There are no logs. What?
No, I just crash loop back off. What does that mean? The back
Crash
off.
loop back off usually means it keeps crashing, so it's not going to keep deploying it.
Okay.
So maybe we missed something. Let's go look at our, this will be real quick. I'm sure it's something stupid. Oh, we are missing some environment variables that we need. So let's grab this. That's easy to fix the way I wrote this. So we would just find a spot and put the environment variables here.
So, and why do you need to write the environment variables here if you already have it on the YAML file?
Because we're trying to template out the deployment. So all the values have to go in this file so that we don't hard code anything in the template file.
Okay.
So I'll refresh this. It's still upset. We do need to pass a command.
Okay.
That I'll copy over from here.
Yeah, the entry point.
This is empty. Apply it. We should make sure it succeeded, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's happier now. Okay.
Wait, there's an error. No. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Now it's complaining about connecting to Postgres again.
R2D2. Yeah.
So now if we want everything to just start working, we just need a database, I think. The tables are going to be missing, but we just have to log in and apply them. So
because we don't actually run the migrations. So right now we have like a Postgres deployed, but there's no database or configuration on it, right?
No, there's no Postgres at all because
Mm-hmm.
the way we do our cloud setup, we've never had to manually deploy Postgres in Kubernetes. It's like isolated by Google Cloud. So we just let them manage our SQL infrastructure and we handle the Kubernetes side of things.
Okay.
But I could see a use case where we would want to have control over it in the future. I don't know, and it's worth exploring, and I think it's useful for people. So let's show how to do it, I guess. And I want to deploy it by using a Helm chart that already exists, so we don't have to do much work.
Okay.
So, and then that's another cool thing about this lens. You can actually search for charts. Let's look up Postgres.
Oh, so this is community Helms.
Yep.
People build it. Yeah. Okay.
So it says it's deprecated.
You
Right.
can look for the first
Sometimes
one.
the stuff in the development environment is a little bit outdated. So let's go look it up. I know that there's a Bitnami Postgres Helm. I know that this is probably the most up to date.
Yeah. So yeah, Helm repo, Helm install. Okay.
Add the repo. Okay.
Yeah, there is.
So now let's install it.
You would wait, the my release one, you have to change that name. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the name. So we'll just change it to Postgres. Whoa, okay. Please be
Connect.
patient while the chart is being deployed. PostgreSQL can be accessed via port 5432 on the following DNS name from within your cluster. Okay.
Oh, so it already shows to you below there to connect to your database from outside the cluster, execute the following commands. Super cool.
Oh, I shouldn't have made that a command. Hold on. So this is the password.
Okay.
Let's go into our Postgres toml user.
Yeah, let's read.
Where's the user?
It should be, well, below there, you can see that it's Postgres.
Yeah, it's just PostgreSQL. And then, yep, I have the host correct. So let's, yeah, this is the DNS name. Okay. Cool. Crap. Didn't mean to click that. My bad. Maybe that'll work. Let's see.
If it's a DNS, do you actually need to write like Postgres //?
I'm not sure.
You know what I mean? Maybe
Oh, this is not.
just put the DNS as the URL, or I'm not, well, not sure. Just let's try it.
I think this has to be, yeah. This has to be here because it's like use the
Yeah, user
password.
then the
this
URL.
Is like specific Postgres syntax for that, but
okay.
You might be right about that. Let's see what happens.
No, right now, right now I'm pretty sure that you are right. Because it's sure that we need to specify the password and all that stuff on the Postgres URL.
Okay, let's see. This is obviously still complaining.
Panicked. Password authentication failed for user Postgres, so it's a password.
Oh, so it did get access to it.
Mhm.
Well, that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, and I just changed the password here. Did I redeploy it? Let's try again.
Crash loop back off. Yeah, for that error for sure.
Yeah, it's still.
Or maybe just check again the password, or not sure.
Yeah. Let's go up here. So please be patient. Yeah.
Yeah, or well, there to get the password or to connect to your database, run the following command. And I will try to connect manually.
Yeah, let's try it. Might as well.
Oh yeah, because you actually have to export the do the entire command. Export Postgres. You see that up there.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. I didn't want to have to export it here, but oh well. So it'll just be here.
Yeah.
Hey, so that worked. All right, let's see. Yep, there's the databases. Okay. So it is up. We just need to, and that password did work. Let's just try changing the database to be Postgres since it already exists. Eliminate that from it. Okay, now let me upgrade it. Someone's still complaining about that. Oh, here we go. Hey, it worked.
Yeah. Rocket has launched. Yeah, perfect.
No way. All right. Let's try deleting these so they get recreated and they try to reconnect or something.
Okay.
Or at least we can get rid of the error messages. We don't need to delete invitations. Remove. It's the old one. All right, this is the new one. Hey, yeah. And so it's being quiet, so we're not getting errors. Everything seems to be looking good right here. Sweet.
Yeah, so we're, oh, wait, there's some errors.
Yeah, what just happened?
Secret, yeah. The same one as before, about,
It was just trying to delete it, I think that, yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's freaking sweet. So now we have almost the entire backend
deployed
in
just one command.
Yep. I guess you have to deploy the Postgres one first. I need to figure out how to like build that into our cluster. I think there's a way that you can have dependencies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, without having to do it manually, like just say, hey, please deploy first
Postgres, yeah.
these Postgres.
Yep. Sweet. All right. Well, I feel like this is a pretty good stopping point for us. What do you think, Victor?
Yeah, so we actually showed how, yeah, we show how to, how, well, actually how you wrote all the YAML files, the how Helm generates all this YAML, and actually how to just deploy your Helm with just one command. Pretty
Yep,
awesome. So
exactly. So I feel like that's a pretty good amount. But yeah, now all we have to do for our backend is deploy 2 more servers and Redis.
okay.
That's it. Yeah. So thank you everyone for watching. Please, if you did enjoy this, please like and subscribe. And
Yeah,
we'll
for
see you on
sure.
the next one.